Hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and because it's Friday, it's another episode of Free Session Friday, where once a week I offer a completely free 90-minute session to one volunteer. And it's normally someone that is already aware of the show and there's something they want to work on, and they apply. And this lady, Tina, applied. And what you're going to hear is the actual hypnosis session that I did with her. Now, Tina is a single mum of a child with special needs and had a crippling feeling of being a failure, even though intellectually and logically she knew that she was doing a lot, especially with the resources and the difficulties that she was dealing with, and yet she was feeling like a failure. And part of that was because her idea of what life should be like and what it was like, it was that comparison that made her feel like a failure, without acknowledging that some of those things about how she should be living weren't even valid and actually weren't even based on the realities of her situation. She described herself as a recovering perfectionist, which gave me a clue that actually there's a tendency to have very high standards and at the same time know that those standards aren't achievable. And there's a lot going on in this hypnosis session where the dynamic of resources and demands are looked at. The actual definition of what it is to fail is redefined, and a different pathway to the future is created where actually improvement and progress is considered success and failure is considered either not taking care of core responsibilities or just giving up too easily. And I think that's a healthy definition of failure. And I used to be crippled by a fear of failure, whereas now my dominant belief system when it comes to trying new things is this idea that you win or you learn. And actually you only truly fail if you stop learning and you give up on that particular pathway. And that encourages more tenacity and determination and resilience, the very things that are going to increase the probability of achieving the outcome. So if you've ever felt a feeling of failure or a hesitation to even try things for a fear of failure, I think you might get some value from this session. And if you like the idea of being an applicant for a future episode of Free Session Friday, you get exactly what a paying client would pay several £100 or dollars for. You would get it completely free. The one caveat is that I record the full session, whereas on a normal episode, you only ever hear my voice and only ever see me. That's different on Free Session Friday. So as long as you don't mind other people observing us working together, I'd encourage you to either apply for Free Session Friday or perhaps nominate or recommend someone that you know that you think might benefit from working with me. Now, one thing I will say, because normally on Free Session Friday, you see the 45 minutes or hour before of me interacting with the client and actually asking them questions. So I actually elicit everything that I then build into the hypnosis session. There was an issue with the first recording. The second recording of me actually working with the client kind of works. It records me. Their screen freezes at one point, so we don't get the full experience that you'd normally get on Free Session Friday. But I wanted to share it anyway, even if mainly what you're listening to is my voice in this session. And the reason I do Free Session Friday is that a lot of people, they get curious because I publish so many episodes. They think, am I actually working with real clients? I am. I'm just protecting the confidentiality of those clients. But on Free Session Friday, I kind of let you eavesdrop and kind of almost like be in the recording studio, in the session with us, and actually hear and see what's going on. So I would encourage you to apply if you want to be a future guest on Free Session Friday. And equally for this, you might get some real value if a fear of failure or a feeling of failure is something you can connect to. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, that's it, really allow those eyelids to close. Allowing your eyelids to feel heavier. And feel that relaxation going down your cheeks into your jaw. And when you breathe in deeper than you normally would. And as you exhale, that's it, just feel the tiny muscles in your forehead starting to relax. Your jaw loosening. And feel a ripple of relaxation going down your neck into your shoulders. That's it. Breathing in deeper and exhaling for longer. And I want you to imagine that you can see upwards through your eyelids into your eyebrows. Keep your eyes closed, looking up, focusing there on your eyebrows. And then on the next outward breath, relax those eyes, sinking deeper into relaxation. That's it. That's it. Find that rhythm. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's do that one more time. Focus. There, this time, a dot on your forehead. Eyes closed, looking up, almost through your brain into that forehead. Feel the tension in the eyes. And as you exhale, just release all of that tension. Sinking deeper down. That's it, more and more relaxed. Arms and legs getting heavier. Breathing slowing down. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. A wonderful cycle of ever increasing relaxation. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I wonder if you could imagine a wardrobe somewhere in your home. You can picture it. Perhaps with coats or clothes. And just imagine, almost like Narnia, as you open the doors and walk through, you can continue walking deep through the clothes, almost like a portal that leads out onto an incredible, almost majestic beach. As you leave the door at the end of that wardrobe, find yourself on a sandy beach, perhaps with stones, big rocks, and maybe a cove that goes out into the ocean. And I want you to feel connected with the rhythm of the waves. And as you stare at the sea, stare at the sand and stare at the rocks, let's do a thought experiment. Because sometimes we can carry shame and guilt and pressure based on words that haven't even been defined. And I want you to look into the sea and ask yourself the question, what does the sea have to do in order to be a success? Really think about it. Does the sea need to arrive on time for a tide? Does the sea need to be a certain composition of water and salt? And the more you ask that question, the more ludicrous the question becomes. The sea can't be successful. The sea just is. And then ask yourself that question of the sand. Is the sand more successful if it has shells, or more successful if it's just smooth? And the more you think, the more ridiculous the question becomes. Sand cannot be successful. It just is. And I want you to think about all of those things that you value. I want you to think of that successful life. And then just imagine, mentally, holding that as the definition, the criteria for success. And then imagine traveling to a forest, finding an isolated tribe. Just be the observer of that tribe. I want you to think of your criteria and then see these incredible humans doing whatever it takes to survive and trying to hold the idea that the entire tribe are failures simply because they don't meet your criteria. Imagine the elder with all of that leadership responsibility, or a new mother caring for a child. Perhaps there's someone within the tribe that makes things that people need. Maybe there's a healer. And yet, based on your criteria, every single one in the tribe is a failure. But I want you to observe their facial expressions, their body language. They don't know your criteria. And some of the things in your criteria wouldn't even make sense to them. They don't know your criteria, they don't know the things. So they don't know they're a failure. And so they aren't. I want you to see an entire tribe of people using their resources to meet their responsibilities. And while they're doing that, they are the definition of success. And I want you to think of this imaginary tribe doing what needs to be done is the standard. anything they choose to do, once those core responsibilities have been met, is simply a bonus. And some of them might use that additional time to talk, to sing, to learn. It's not that they should be doing that. It's simply that they're choosing to do that. And I wonder if you can update your definition as to what it takes to fail. And I wonder if just one or two suggestions may help. I want you to consider failure is having the resources that are sufficient to meet a responsibility and then not meeting that responsibility. That would be a fair threshold for failure. That if someone could do something and chose not to, even though it's their responsibility, that's a good definition of failure. And I want you to think back to your life. I want you to think about all those times you met not just the responsibilities, but beyond them. That even if those demands were high, and even if you felt tired sometimes, if more often than not, you used your resources to meet your responsibilities, let me know by nodding your head. And let's define responsibilities as basic responsibilities. Things that need to be done, not that should be done, not that could be done, that absolutely need to be done. And if consistently you've done what needs to be done, you've found a way, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to connect to that idea of lowering the threshold. Covering those basic responsibilities. And anything beyond that is success. And let's introduce another possible definition of failure. Some people have the criteria that failure is anything other than succeeding exactly as you wanted to. But that makes it easy to fail and difficult to succeed. Some people believe that you either win or you learn. And even learning, if it improves the probability, is still a win. And that the only way to really lose or fail is to quit too early, to walk away from a challenge. And that's very different. If you discern that you don't want the thing anymore, or it's not serving you, That is not failure, that is discernment. That protects you from the sunk cost fallacy. But if there is a dream or a goal, and you simply walk away, well, then you can say you failed in that one area. But then if you replace it with a more suitable, appealing, or challenging goal, it's just a rotation. The only way to fail is to quit. Quit for good and not replace it with something of equal or higher value. And I want you to think about your life. And if based on this new criteria, you would consider yourself a failure, let me know by nodding your head. Or if you would consider yourself a success, you're meeting your responsibilities, and you're tenacious at finding a way for those things you desire, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to think of memories of when you were at your most resourceful. Allow your mind to teleport you back to real memories, real feelings. And when I say the word, your mind can just take you there. I want you to think of a moment of pure joy and just step into that memory. Feel the joy you felt back then. Find it, amplify it, and then think of a moment of pure gratitude. A moment that you were just so appreciative of whatever was happening in that moment. Think of the memory, observe it, step into it, feel the gratitude. Think of a moment of tenacity, a time that you refused to give up, that where there's a will, there's a way. Step into that moment of tenacity, feel it, expand it, amplify it. I want you to think of a time when you were at your most capable. Maybe you did something difficult. Maybe the demand was high, the challenge was high, but your resources exceeded those demands. You felt capable. Step into that feeling. Dial it up inside. Feel that capability. Feel it vibrated every single cell. That's it. Do the same for determination. Step into it, feel it. That's it. Courage. A sense of duty. Feel it. And then perhaps the most useful, resilience. The kind of resilience that means that the challenge is real, the adversity is real, and yet it did not deter you. It just gave you thicker skin, perhaps unleashed even more determination. Step into that feeling of resilience, of relentless determination. And imagine being on that beach, still thinking about The sea can't be successful or a failure. Neither can the sand or the rocks or the sky. And I wonder if you can give yourself permission to just be. No criteria. You just are. And I want you to think, as you increase resources, to let go of some of those demands. Goals that were never your goals. Dreams that were never your dreams. And standards that were never your standards. Just let them go and feel the weight of expectation fall off. And I want you to get a sense, from this point onwards, you are already succeeding. By doing the basics, you are succeeding. By being alive, you are succeeding. And everything else is a bonus. To grow, to learn. And I want you to psychologically shift all of those shoulds into coulds. You no longer have to do them. No shame, no blame. And instead, think of all the things you could do with your resources, and I want you to feel empowered and inspired by your coulds, rather than blamed and shamed by your shoulds. Feel it resonate, connect with it. That's it. And before we leave this place, I want you to get a sense of what the future looks like. I want you to imagine seeing a rock pool there on the beach. But this rock pool is a bit more like a crystal ball. You can see the future. And I want you to see a version of you with permission to thrive, not just survive. See someone doing the best they can with the resources they have, and that's enough. And if every now and then they feel resourceful enough, they can choose to do what they would like to do, what they want to do, not always what they have to do. I want you to see that future version of you being motivated by progress and perfection they could not care less about. And I want you to get a sense that that future of someone aligned, grateful for the life they have, motivated to improve it, but no judgment, no shame, no blame, just possibilities and capabilities. And maybe it reminds you of someone you've seen that has no definition of failure. They're just connected to life, to living, helping, and doing. And I want you to see a secret weapon there in that future. And let's call it generosity. Some people believe that the reason for living is giving. And I want you to see that you found something in that future to charge up your batteries, to make you even more resourceful. Generosity. You can't pour from an empty cup. And sometimes the most generous thing you can do is look after yourself, to keep your batteries full. And what if, by feeling like a success, what if by letting go of all of that shame and guilt and judgment, your mood changes. And what if that mood change subtly influences how you are in the world, gives you a spring in your step, a new level of belief and confidence? And this version of you doesn't try. This version of you does. And sometimes you do things and it moves you forward. And sometimes you do things and you simply learn from it. But this future version of you does more. Not because you have to, but because you want to. Free of shame, free of failure, and full of energy and inspiration. It's time to leave this place, but you take all of these resources with you. And somewhere on that beach, you see what looks like the other side of a wardrobe. Except you can open it and you climb into the wardrobe and you walk through until you find yourself in your home. It's your wardrobe. But you return with a new perception, a new way of thinking. And I want you to get a sense that you return now into the present, feeling resourceful, less stressed, with a new idea as to what failure is. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, and wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connecting, calibrating to the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.